Hi, and welcome to the 2024 Senior 1X. My name is Mia Costello, and I'm excited to be one of your 6 amazing directors this year. My show is titled In Willow's Creek and is about a young journalist coming back to her hometown to investigate a story about ghosts, so it's not a comedy. I'm beyond excited for you to watch my show. My cast has been working really hard to put this production on, and I'm so proud of each and every one of them for working with me over the past 2 months. I would say this show was inspired through my love for mysteries, I guess. When I wrote this show, I knew it was perfect for the Senior 1X and I had to direct it. So here we are, 2 months into the project, and we're performing this amazing show for you tonight. I want to give a huge thanks to the people that helped inside and out with these productions. I want to give a special thanks to my mom and my uncle who helped me revise my show. So thank you to them. And huge thanks to our crew who without them these shows would be impossible. And to give credit, my bow song is End of the Beginning by DGO. And then I just have a little context to the next thing I'm going to say. But during my rehearsal, my cast would come into the rehearsal and they'd say to me, they go, "Where are the ghosts at?" So I want to give credit to my cast because I think that's really funny. So I'm going to end by saying, "Where are the ghosts at?" So with that, I would like to proudly present In Willow's Creek.
Casey, I have something I want to run by you.
If you can't see her, we are very busy. Can this wait?
No, this can't wait. It's a story I want to write for the editor's pitch coming up, and I was hoping...
The editor's pitch is the most exclusive meeting. It is only for Chicago's best newspapers, and we have exactly 1 week to gather a story. And since you're not an editor...
But I have the perfect story here. The town I grew up in, Willow's Creek, is experiencing complications at the local lumber mill. Rumors of ghosts. If I could just go down there, I promise you this will be the perfect story for the editor's pitch.
Kate, you know you have responsibilities here as a reporter. We can't risk losing a story that we're not even sure is going to sell.
But it will sell. This story isn't like anything this newspaper has ever reported on before. I promise you. Those other editors, they'll read this and they'll think, "Wow, now that is a newspaper that knows how to shake things up." Please, I'll be back in 4 days with the perfect story.
Are you really sure you can do this?
I know I can. I became a reporter for a reason. Let me prove to you why.
Fine, you have 4 days.
You won't regret this, Casey. It's good to be back.
Ooh, sorry about that.
No worries, I clearly wasn't looking where I was walking.
And I should be more careful when descending a ladder. Are you visiting?
How did you know? Oh, maybe because I'm carrying a suitcase. I used to live here when I was a little girl.
Oh, really? What brings you back?
I'm a reporter. I'm here for a story for my paper.
Oh, that's really cool. We hadn't had a reporter in this town in a while.
Yeah, I don't remember there being much news when I lived here.
The only news we get is from the town gossips.
What sort of gossip?
Oh, you know, just boring sorts of things like noise complaints and what new shop is opening here in town. Nothing that exciting.
No rumors of ghosts?
Ghosts? Sure, but what small town doesn't have a ghost story or two?
Yeah, I guess you're right, but I've heard about more than 2 around here. Hey, is Bonnie's Diner still around?
You know, Bonnie's has been around forever. They moved locations up by Thatcher Road, more of a tourist spot.
Could we grab a quick coffee? I was hoping to catch up more about the town.
Sure, but that sounds awful forward for a guy you just met.
Well, you don't seem like a serial killer to me.
Is that how you respond to every guy you talk to?
No, just the ones that intrigue me. I remember the smell. Smell of fresh donuts and coffee.
Are there no diners in Chicago?
Well, of course there are, but nothing like Bonnie's. I've missed this.
I take it you're glad to be back.
Yeah, it's nice, but as much as I would like to reminisce about the past, I still have a job to do.
That's right. What is your story about?
The old lumber mill, in fact. I've read multiple stories of sightings of ghosts at the mill, and I thought, my old town, my Willows Creek. I begged my editor to let me come down and get this story.
That does sound like an interesting story. I don't know how much help I can provide on the matter, but I'll do my best.
Hi, y'all. What can I get for you little birdies?
I'll take a coffee with extra cream, please.
Coffee for me too. Black, thanks.
Of course, I'll be right back.
Thanks, Bonnie. A coffee with extra cream?
It helps stimulate my cuckoo brain. A reporter's brain is very cluttered.
So, are you visiting anyone while here in town?
I was hoping to have a chat with Darcy Owens. I haven't seen her in a while and was hoping to catch up.
That's so funny. That's my mama. That's where I remember you from. You moved up to Chicago for college?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think you were like 16 when I left. I forgot how much boys can change. You know, your mom was actually the one who inspired me to become a reporter.
I'm not shocked about that. She's usually the one spreading news around here. Usually not good news, though.
2 coffees, 1 cream.
Thank you. So, do you know what happened to the old lumber mill? When we passed it coming up here, it looked abandoned, lonely.
Yeah, the mill closed down about 5 years ago. There was a number of unexplained deaths in the workers. Then, the foreman and his wife were found dead with a confession letter saying they were responsible for a worker, Austin Lachamp's death. Since then, there have been ghost sightings everywhere. Everyone has a ghost story around here. Everyone says that Felix and Charlotte were loved by the town, and I know their death shook everybody. You know, my mama commissioned the original build of the mill. Felix was her first foreman. I know his death shook her the most. Shortly after, the mill closed down and hasn't been open since.
I guess the mill does have some dark history. Does anybody have this confession letter now? It would be awesome if I could have it for my story.
Everything in Willows Creek has history. As for the confession letter, I assume it would be at the police station. I mean, it was evidence in a murder investigation.
Right, where else would it be? Hey, is there anyone that I could interview around town that could help with my story?
You know, you could start with Bonnie. I know she has a ghost story or two.
Perfect. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi there.
Is it all right if I record this conversation?
Of course.
Great. Let's begin. I was hoping you could provide more information on the ghosts. Have you seen any around?
I have. They've just been fleeting visions, though. They go as quickly as they come. Just 2 weeks ago, I was coming into work, and I swear I saw someone standing in the middle of the road. I braked so hard I almost flew out of my seat. But when I looked again, there was no one there. But I swear I almost knocked a man out of his boots with the front of my truck.
Where was this?
Turned onto Thatcher Road, over by the big intersection. It was early in the morning, not many others out.
And did it look like they were trying to get somewhere?
No, nothing like that. They were just standing in the middle of the road.
And you've had other sightings like this?
Yes, just quick glimpses of people in places they shouldn't be. I know others have seen them too.
Thank you for sharing the story. Is there anyone else who was here when the build of the mill was still happening?
I know Betty Boots still lives in town. She's one of the oldest living citizens in Willows Creek. I bet she'd be willing to share. I believe her house is still on Abs Road.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. You've provided me with some great information. Boots? I'm a reporter. I was hoping to interview you about my story.
Oh, sure. That's fine. Have a seat. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I've been better, but
I was hoping you could provide me more information on the mill.
The mill? Nobody's asked me about that in years.
Well, starting off, is it okay if I record this interview?
Oh, sure, that's fine.
All right. I know the mill closed about 5 years ago. How long did you work there for?
Oh, I worked there nearly 30 years. My good friend Darcy convinced me to get the job.
Darcy seemed to have a lot of friends.
Everybody in town and around knows Darcy.
Good point. Were you working there when the deaths occurred?
I was. It was such a terrible time. Felix and Charlotte turned up dead, and they confessed to murdering Austin LeChamp, and they just seemed so out of character for them. No one would ever have guessed that they did that.
And this so-called confession letter, have you ever seen it?
No, I never got my hands on it, but I assumed it went straight to the police station.
Right. And what about seeing any ghosts? It seems like many of your townsfolk have seen a thing or two. Have you?
I went back to the mill. I went back to the mill after the closing, and I saw something by the foreman's booth there, and I thought it was a person. It looked so real, but I assumed it was a person, and it was so lifelike.
And did they have any strange features? Anything that didn't seem like part of a ghost? Anything in the way they walked?
I mean, there was some glow around them, so I knew they weren't a person, but the eyes were really real too.
Did you ever see them again?
I mean, I seen glimpses of them around town, glimpses around when I'm driving, when I'm walking around. I just see them everywhere, and yeah.
And this was the only sighting you've had?
I mean, besides the little glimpses around town, I've seen them around, yeah.
And did you speak to anyone about that initial sighting?
I told Darcy, but she thought I was faking it. She thought I was making something up like everybody else does.
But not everyone's story is fake. Thank you so much for this interview, Mrs. Boots. You've provided me with some great information for my story.
No, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Hey, Kate, what's up?
Can you meet me at the lumber mill in 20 minutes?
I'll be right there.
So, have you ever been back to Willows Creek before today?
Nope, I haven't had the time. Reporting is a very demanding career.
What more do you need for your story anyways?
Well, I was hoping to take a few more pictures, take a few recordings, unless you can think of a way to summon a ghost.
Is that common knowledge? Do people just know how to do that?
I know you do some kind of seance, but I couldn't tell you the first thing on how to do it.
Yeah, me neither. It is strange that neither you or I have seen a ghost yet. I thought they were sort of just lingering around now.
She killed my husband and she killed me. She killed my husband and she killed me. She killed my husband and she killed me.
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I have to get out of here.
Kate, wait! Two coffees, please. One with extra cream.
Rough night.
Hasn't it?
Anything I can help with?
We were down at the old mill. She saw something. Something must have happened.
Like a vision. Well, nothing a warm cup of coffee can't fix, as my mama says.
Right. Thanks, pal. Got you a coffee with extra cream.
Thanks.
Kate, slow down. Just take a breath.
I have exactly 48 hours to finish this story.
Kate, you saw something at the mill. Something that has you shook. Maybe you should take a break?
Casey has given me exactly 4 days to write this story. I can't let her down. This is all I've ever wanted, a story of mine on the front of Chicago's best newspaper. This is my chance. You know, Casey has been doubting my work since the day I started at the paper. This is the perfect opportunity to prove her wrong.
Are you doing this to prove your boss wrong or because you actually care about reporting?
I really do care about reporting. I've loved it ever since I was a little girl. You know, I chose this story because my passion for reporting started right here in Willows Creek.
Do you even have enough information to write this story? You have 2 interviews and 0 pictures. What will you write about? What did you see?
It's hard to explain. Look, both Bonnie and Betty have seen ghosts around here, and I'm assuming they're not the only townsfolk who have. Something is happening around here, and it all started at the mill. Betty told me that while she was working there, a worker, Austin LeChamp, died, and that Felix and Charlotte were held responsible for his death, just like you said.
Right, which is why they wrote the confession letter.
Which is what everyone believes. But why would Felix and Charlotte kill themselves over that? It just doesn't make sense. Betty also mentioned knowing your mother, saying that she was the one who originally hired her at the mill. She also said that she worked with Felix and Austin and had for many years, and said that this was totally out of character for the Felix she knew.
And so why would Felix so suddenly change to become a murderer? You're right, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Felix wouldn't have killed one of his only friends. I think he was framed. There's someone in Willows Creek who isn't telling the truth.
And whoever it is was willing to come up with that clever cover-up.
And what a convenient cover-up right at their hands. The foreman of the mill kills his workers. It's perfect.
We need to find that confession letter.
I agree. Officer Hawkins is at the station tonight. That's the first place we should look.
Mama! I didn't expect to see you here.
Oh well, I'm just meeting an old friend for dinner. Kate, it's great to see you back in Willows Creek. I hope your visit's been lovely so far.
It has. It's good to be back.
How's reporting in Chicago been?
It's busy work, but I love it.
You've always been very keen on reporting.
That I have. Hey, could I interview you for my story?
Sure, let me check my schedule.
Great, let me know.
Well, we best be going.
All right, be safe out there.
Bye, Mama.
Bye, baby. Kate, never stop following your dreams. People don't seem to realize that their opinion of the world is a confession of their bona fide character.
Hawkins said he can't release the confession letter as it's evidence in an investigation, even though the case closed 5 years ago. I guess my reporting skills weren't enough to trick him. Is there anyone else who could have this confession letter somewhere with easier access?
You know, it was my mama's lumber mill. The police might have shown her a copy of the letter after it happened, and she might have a copy of it somewhere. If we go now, we might have enough time before she returns home.
Okay, let's be quick. I'm gonna get my own ghost story.
I should have known it was her. My own friend, a murderer. She killed everyone.
Are we going? If the police showed it to my mama at the police station, she might have taken a scan of it, so it might be in her photos folder.
Good place to start. I'll look at the lumber mill documents. It looks like Austin LeChamp wasn't the only death at the mill. These are letters written to the families of those who had died.
That's my mama's handwriting. She must have written the families after she found out what happened. I bet they appreciated those kind words.
They must have. I mean, after everything that had happened.
Yeah.
We should focus on finding the confession letter. That's what we came here for.
Right. You know, she keeps a private safe in her room upstairs. I'll go check and see if it's there.
Okay. If I were to keep a confession letter in a murder investigation, where would I keep it? April 15th, 2008, the day that Felix died, and the day the confession letter was found. Felix and Charlotte Smith were found dead. Cause of death? Gunshot wound to the back of the head. Shot in the back of the head? Witnesses report seeing both enter the mill hours alone before they were found dead. No sign of forced entry. The mill owner, Darcy Owens, was also seen entering the mill around the same time. A handwritten note found at the scene stated that Felix and his wife Charlotte caused the accidents that led to the deaths of the 6 workers. It states, "I killed these people because I believe that they were necessary sacrifices to protect the town from a greater evil. I truly believe that people do not seem to realize that their opinion of the world is also a confession of their bona fide character." Signed, Felix Smith.
Well, it wasn't in there. What's that?
I knew Felix and Charlotte weren't the only ones keeping secrets around here.
What'd you find? Something to prove their innocence?
I think I would like to interview your mom now.
Okay, I'll stay here and keep searching. There's gotta be something here.
All right.
Kate, there are far more professional places to do an interview.
Fitting, isn't it? An interview where it all began?
Yes, where my passion to build first started, right here.
Right. You know, I've been thinking about Felix the Mill, everything. There's something that doesn't sit right with me.
It's a tragedy. Felix was a disturbed individual who committed horrible acts. There's nothing more to say.
Maybe. But it's strange, isn't it, how a man like Felix, who was so meticulous, so careful, just suddenly snapped and started killing his workers? Then I thought maybe it wasn't him.
Felix was unstable. He couldn't live what he'd done.
Maybe. But it's funny, isn't it? You trusted Felix. You guys were good friends. You probably knew him better than anyone, yet you never suspected he was capable of such violence. The truth is, you knew Felix wasn't a murderer. I get it, Darcy. The pressure, the need to keep things under control. People like Felix, they're weak, incompetent, unambitious, and expendable.
You're grasping straws, Kate. Felix was a psychopath. He couldn't know his true character.
Maybe. But you needed to protect everything you had built. You couldn't be held responsible for the deaths of Austin and the others, but poor Felix was right there, the perfect fall guy, the cover that would keep you off the suspect list. But in all your plotting, you missed something. You released the exact piece of information I needed to find the truth, and you openly said it to me right outside the diner.
Felix was a good man. He obviously had demons that no one else had seen.
Maybe.
You're twisting things. I didn't do anything to Felix. He was mentally unstable.
Mentally unstable? There's no proof of that. This was all you, Darcy. The one honest thing you said in that confession letter was that these deaths were for the greater good. You truly believed that these people were only worth what good they could do for you, whether working for you or dying for you.
They were weak, Kate! I had to do what I thought was right. Their deaths were a necessary evil.
So you admit it! You framed him and faked the confession letter. You made sure everything went according to your plan. You thought you could manipulate everything, but now, Darcy, you're out of moves. Time's up.
What happened? Why is my mama running away?
Quinn.
You had my mama arrested? For what?
Look, Quinn, I didn't know how to tell you. It's your mom. She's responsible for everything. She killed Austin, Felix, Charlotte, and all the others.
How do you know?
Because she said it to me. When we were leaving the diner the other night, she said that people do not seem to realize that their opinion of the world is also a confession of their bona fide character. I found that exact phrase in the confession letter. That's how I knew it was her. I'm so sorry, Quinn.
I can't believe it was her responsible for all this.
Sometimes the most horrifying truths are the hardest to believe.
And the hardest to swallow.
Do you want to grab a coffee?
Someone needs their daily dose of cream today, don't they?
I deserve it. It's been a rough day. I'm glad we were able to learn the truth. It may have been 5 years too late, but the truth is the truth.
Yeah, I am glad that you came. You helped the town for the better. Want to grab a coffee?
I wish I could, but I have a flight back to Chicago to catch. I have an interview for my story.
Oh, you're leaving already?
I have a life back in Chicago. I best get back to it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Without you pushing me, I would have never had the confidence to write this story.
No, thank you. You uncovered the truth. And it is unfortunate that my mama was responsible for all this madness, but you changed the town for the better. You changed Willow's Creek.
We changed Willow's Creek. Bye, Quinn.
Bye, Kate.
Mm-hmm.